I'm going to share my presentation and make sure your microphones are on mute. And if you have any questions during the presentation, put them in the chat. And if you have anything that you can relate to, put them in the chat. So before I switch slides, I'm going to see what's going on, and I might invite you in for conversation. Okay. Let's see. Let me share my screen first. That would help. All right. There we go. All right. Create lasting habits. And so, like I was saying, in order for us to successfully create lasting habits, we have to identify the habits that we are operating in and allow them to dissolve, help them to dissolve. It's almost like you plant a garden, and right now it's dark and the seeds are taking root, and you plant the same thing over and over and over again. Like you plant tomatoes every year, and then last summer you were like, I really don't like tomatoes anymore, but you planted the seeds again, as well as other seeds. And it's like, which ones do you want to grow? Which ones are you going to nourish? If I don't like the tomatoes, then I'm just going to stop watering them, and I'm just going to let them go dormant and kind of do their thing. And I'm going to pay more attention to the cucumbers because I like cucumbers, right? So it's letting the things that you don't want to feast on anymore dissolve, and then really paying attention to the things and to the habits that you want to feast on. So in our society, we hear this phrase, this new year, new you, right? And there's almost this sense of like urgency, like as soon as the ball drops and the fireworks go off, like you have to become this new person, you have to do this new thing. You have to, I remember thinking when I was going through this, being in the new year, new me, like you'd wake up on New Year's Day and you're like, oh my gosh, I have a splitting hangover because I just celebrated and brought the new year in at midnight. I'm exhausted. I'm supposed to go to the gym, right? And supposed to start eating healthy when really you just want fried eggs and bacon and to just sleep all day. But no, new year, you got to get up and you got to got to get going. So, if your New Year's resolutions are not going as planned, don't be surprised. It's not okay. It's not your fault. This whole concept has been constructed around like in this instant gratification society that we live in. And I'm here to remind you that there's this threshold that we are at right now. Like we're in the gap of this threshold, and we are exiting one reality, one way of being, one year, and entering into a new reality, a new way of being, and a new year. And we are programmed to think that that happens at the drop of a ball. But really, that doesn't. That takes time. It takes time for us to foster new ways of being. And so Ayurveda encourages us to honor this seasonal threshold. And I love it because it gives me permission to be able to give myself time and space within the transitions to expand and contract, right? Because that's what nature does, and we are nature. There is an expansion and there's a contraction. There's a time to expand and a time to contract. And right now, during this winter season, is not time for us to be expanding. It's time for us to be contracting, to go within and to get really clear and really centered and really focused in on what we want to take fruit in our life. So if you are not feeling into taking action in your New Year's resolutions, it's okay. It's okay. It'll be time really soon, and you'll know. So, the practice of Ayurveda always says look to nature. If you cannot figure something out, if you need more information, look to nature. And what is nature doing right now? It's sleeping. It's lying dormant. It's taken its nap. Some herbs and some things are making fruit and doing what they need to do, making flowers and stuff. Like here in Louisiana, the camellias are blooming on the trees, but not everything is, right? And so in Ayurveda, there's different mind body types. There are some people that are doing real good right now, like Wendy, like I got my resolutions, I'm ready, let's go. And then there's other people like me that's like, wait a second, because it takes me longer. I need a longer time in that threshold. That's why I'm not here to say making resolutions and sticking to them within the first 3 days of the year is wrong or right. I'm just here to give you permission that it's okay to take some time, right? And so everything in nature around us is moving slowly. Some of it is still moving, but it's moving slowly. It's lying dormant. It's being still. So it goes against the natural flow of nature to take action in the winter. Now it's up to you to decide if that means inaction completely or just a little bit less action or a lot of action. It's totally up to you. But it's a time to honor the contraction time of life, for us to go within, for us to really excavate and dig a little bit more and look for all the different jewels that have been hiding and lying dormant, right? A time to nourish and polish those jewels, or like I was saying, going and watering the seeds, and to embrace the naps, to embrace the moments of just stillness and quiet. And then also a time to dissolve those outdated beliefs or those outdated patterns or those outdated ways of doing things. Like that's something that I'm really focusing on right now, is just be noticing that I do these things just because I've always done them. And then bringing curiosity to them, like, well, why? Like, do I do them for a reason? Do they really serve me? And then deciding to continue doing them, like, yeah, that's something I want to do in 2024, or like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that anymore, right? So that's what this threshold period is about. So with that, that is taking action. That is an action step, but it's not the action that I used to be programmed to think, right? It's just a whole, it's like a fine tuning. It's an intimate action, right? Um, so, let me go to the chats and see. I guess see some people saying some stuff. Hibernating. Yes. Great word, Bridget. Hibernating. Peggy says, I love this. I'm going dormant, hibernating in the cave like brother, sister bear. Yes. And that's all I want to do is like, I want to go snuggle with my people and just, just hibernate like my cat. Like, I just want to snuggle, but, um, you know, that's the season. That's what we're asking for. And so whenever we are out of alignment with the season and we are not doing what the environment around us is doing, we're going against it, we find ourselves in habits of things that aren't serving us and that aren't good for us. So in the winter season, I notice in the past, and I noticed a lot of my clients go into sugar cravings and need more caffeine to sustain their mood, to sustain their energy. We're reaching for substances during the winter seasons for that. So whenever you are reaching for sugar and you're reaching for caffeine, you are weakening your immune system, you are weakening your lymphatic system. And so then everybody in the winter gets these seasonal illnesses, the flus, the colds. But really, is it that? Or is it the fact that our immune systems and our lymphatic systems are compromised because we are reaching for these stimulants to stimulate us so we can act like it's summertime and behave like it's summertime, right? And produce like it's summertime, instead of just, wow, I'm tired because I'm supposed to be tired and it's okay. I don't need a stimulant to help me out, or cough. Well, I'm jumping ahead, but anyway, feeling a lot of sadness in our bodies because we feel really depressed because this winter season, the winter blues, right? I mean, it's natural for us to feel low in the winter and for us to label ourselves as depressed when it isn't really depression. It's just the winter blues, and it's us going within, right? It's the natural thing to melt into yourself in the winter. Um, I had a client recently tell me that she thinks she has seasonal affective disorder. And I was like, well, why does it have to be a disorder? Of course, the seasons are going to affect you. It's not a disorder, it's just part of life. But if you are, that used to be part of my vocabulary. I'm like, oh, the winter's so hard. I have seasonal affective disorder. I'm just so sad in the winter, you know? Um, but it's part of it. And I've learned to embrace the me that I get to experience every season. Like there's a different me in the winter, there's a different me in the fall, there's a different me in the summer. And I've just learned to embrace that part of me and not try to label it as Caitlin with anxiety, Caitlin with depression, Caitlin with a ragey mood. It's me. So if you are finding yourself craving caffeine or sugar, or getting the flu every year, or getting these seasonal colds or these seasonal allergies, maybe there's something out of alignment for you and the way that you're living. The afternoon low is real. Mm-hmm. So, what Ayurveda says about winter? Ayurveda says that winter is the season of kapha dosha. Kapha is made of earth and water, so there's a lot of the kapha elements of earth and water present in our environment. So, in the winter, we should be focusing on immunity and fluidity, because our immune system is the building blocks. It's like the earth of our health. It's the roots of our health. And the lymphatic system is the water and the fluidity. So it's how our prana and our life force, that Ayurveda calls it ujas, runs through your body, is through your lymphatic system. So Ayurveda encourages warmth, warm body, warm food, warm beverages, more heated spices, things that are going to warm the body, warmth. Ayurveda encourages slowness during wintertime, like be in that slowness, be in that stillness, but don't stop. If you feel yourself stopping, then bring in some movement, because we want to keep that fluidity. We want to keep the lymphatic system moving, but just slow your pace, right? It encourages you to connect with yourself through self-care practices. This is a really good time to get to know your skin by dry brushing. Dry brushing is really, really good on the lymphatic system. Get to know the way you feel through an oil massage. Using untoasted sesame oil is really, really warm and can warm the body and keep the lymphatic system moving in that way. Spending time getting to know yourself through those practices. And then changing your diet a little bit. Like if you don't eat seasonally, go to your farmer's market and buy some seasonal vegetables, learn some recipes on how to use those vegetables, and you will see that most of the vegetables are what you need for your environment. But Ayurveda encourages to eat the taste of bitter, astringent, and pungent. That bitter taste promotes self-awareness. The astringent taste encourages you finding a home within yourself. And the pungent taste encourages clarity and focus. And so those are the three things that we need to be focusing on right now. So when the springtime and the summertime comes, we can really expand into what we have become self-aware of, what we have become clear on, and what we've built a home in. Right? So really focusing on those foods and bringing in those tastes into your diet could be really, really helpful. And then wait until the spring to start really taking action, right? So we are nature, but to liken it to something that we're pretty familiar with is like the butterfly. There was the caterpillar that crawled and worked really hard during the summer and the early fall to wrap itself up really tight in a cocoon. And now it's spending time in its cocoon, all nestled up, completely dissolving into its form, and then turning into something completely different. Like it can't I mean, you guys heard this. You can't have a butterfly life with caterpillar behaviors. Like, that's just not going to work. So we got to, you know, do some things first. And so this is where I came up with my ways and what I'm doing to create new habits while I'm spending time in the threshold. So the first thing that I love to do is I always love to declutter and sort. So I usually get the urge this time to go and dip because I like to stuff things in drawers, put things in boxes, and because I love to tidy up. Like I like to clear my space. And so I have to spend time decluttering and sorting. So I take a step back because I gotta like take a step back and see what needs to happen, like take an assessment. So I take a step back and I look and I assess, and as I'm assessing, I'm like, the foods that I'm eating that I know aren't serving me, the people, the behaviors, like I'm taking assessment, right? And that takes me time. Maybe you can do that within minutes, but it takes me some time. And then I'm deciding, like cleaning out my closet, cleaning out my pantry, making a commitment to not go back to whatever it may be for you, alcohol, sugar, um, behaviors, beliefs, items, whatever it is. Take the assessment and then organize, rearrange, give things a home. So if you're getting rid of the clothes, find them a new home. Find the books that have been laying on the coffee table a new home. Whatever it may be. Rearrange your furniture to create a new environment. And then this would be a really good time if you were wanting to have more of like a ritual or prayer practice in the morning, setting up and dedicating your spaces. Like a little dedicated coffee area or a little dedicated place where you're going to do your new dry brushing and oil massage, or another little dedicated area where you're going to do your reading. Like set up little homes for you based on the new things that you want to create so you're more inspired to do them. So declutter and sort. And then I spend time connecting and nourishing. So in this time, I get really clear on the person that I want to be, the who I want to be, the things that I want in my life, the people I want in my life, the experiences I want in my life. I get really clear on it. I write it down, I draw pictures, you can make a vision board, whatever that is. And then from there, I know what kind of actions that I have to take. I know I can't keep doing what I have been doing, because if I was doing that, then I would have all the things, right? They would be aligned. But I know that to get these things that I want, I've got to do something different. So I start by creating a ritual practice for myself. And if you don't have a ritual practice and you want to do one, I can help you create one specifically for your dosha. But it's in my entire day. In in the Ayurvedic clock, there's sections of the day, and there's different things that are supportive for me to do at these different times. So I create little tiny rituals within each of those to make those moments special. Like I just created myself so part of my business, I have to create a lot of content. Like this presentation, I created it. And sometimes they stress me out because I'm a recovering perfectionist. That's another secret. And so I've created like a work ritual. So when I get down to create content, I have like this little special thing that I go through, and it just makes it so much more special. So creating little rituals like that. Journal and goal setting can really help you get clear on the new person that you want to be. And cooking your meals. That's the best way to nourish yourself. That's the best way to build a relationship with your life, is by cooking your meals. Maybe start with just, a couple meals a week. And then if you really love it, do one meal a day where you cook for yourself. Lisa says, I usually love to create action items for each year, outward action items. And this year, my intention is to work on being more me, loving me, all of me, and shedding things and beliefs that no longer serve me. Yes, I want to learn more about the inner me, who I truly am. I'm focusing on alignment, focusing on slowing down. Yes, yes, all of that. That is definitely what this season is about. Thank you for sharing that. And then the last one. So you decluttered, you got focused, you got really clear. Now you have to stay committed to that. Staying committed to all of the new focuses that you have set on. Make sure all of your choices align with your commitments. So if you have the commitment to wake up at 5:30 every morning and say your prayers or have a meditation, you have to stay committed to it. And if it's a day that you forget, forgive yourself and then commit to it the next day, right? There's no need to stay in the space of beating yourself up and thinking that you failed because you didn't. Just tomorrow's a new day, just recommit, right? But stay committed to yourself. Try something different every day. Try one thing new every day. Maybe you try switching up your routine. Like if you brush your teeth before you wash your face, maybe you wash your face before you brush your teeth, or something that I have been switching up is brushing my teeth before I shower. I usually shower and then brush my teeth, but I kind of switched it. I don't know which one I like better, but so let's switch that up. Have the intention to keep evolving no matter what. So that kind of goes with if you make the commitment and you miss the commitment that day, then just recommit to yourself the next day, but continue evolving. So if you were to stay in this space of shame and guilt and shooting all over yourself because you didn't do it or you missed it, then you wouldn't be in the space of evolving. So just stay in the space of evolution no matter what. And then wait until the spring to make the big changes. Wait until the spring. The energy is coming. Take the small steps, make the small actions, keep committing to the changes, keep allowing the awareness and inviting the curiosity on all of these things that you usually do. And so just keep creating newness for yourself and wait until the spring to make the big diet changes, the big decisions in life, the new exercise routines, learning a new sport. Like wait until the spring. And so if you are here live on the call, in the chat, I'm going to put a code for you to get 20% off for an Ayurvedic assessment. And in the Ayurvedic assessment, you find out your dosha. I tell you secrets about yourself that you may not know. I may make sense of some secrets that you already know about yourself. I will tell you what foods that you could be eating right now, and different self-care practices and rituals that will be supportive for you in this season and going forward. So that's something that we do in the Ayurvedic assessment. But I'll put the code in the chat for you to book one of those. And then I will open up the floor for conversation. Okay, let's see, what is it? There it is. All right, so does anybody have any questions or anything they would like to unpack about winter season or kapha season in Ayurveda?
I'm not sure that you posted the link. Just says webinar.
Oh, I didn't post the link.
Details.
Yes, all the details. Thank you.
You betcha.
Here it is. I got it. Laura says, I just came down with that seasonal cold you talked about the day before going back to school. Any treatment ideas? Yes. Get off of sugar, get off of caffeine. That's the first step. And you don't have to get off of it forever, but getting off of sugar and getting off of caffeine is the first thing to do. Using your neti pot every day until that clears up is also another thing that would be very beneficial for you. And then eating the bitters, the astringents, and the pungents. So bitters would be like your dark leafy greens. Dandelion tea is a bitter. Astringent would be like beans. Pomegranates are in season, so you can get some pomegranate kernels. Those are astringent. And pungent, so something like drinking golden milk before bed, because it has the turmeric, which is pungent. So those are just some things you can do for this seasonal cold that you have. Yeah. But allow yourself to embrace the stillness too. Like when your body tells you that you're tired or you feel like you are coming down with something, then that's your body telling you, like, I need you to come down, please, because you are out of alignment in some way. You may be doing too much. You may not be honoring the stillness. There's some foods that you're eating that are not serving your body, that may be too watery or heavy. When it comes to food in Ayurveda, being aware of your dosha helps you become aware of the elements in your body, and then learning the foods and what types of elements the foods offer. So during kapha season, we want to eat less foods that have earth and water in them. Because if we eat foods that have a lot of earth and water in them during kapha season, then they could cause stagnation in those organs. And the organs that are connected to kapha season are the lungs, the stomach, and the sinuses. And so that's where a lot of mucus, and the lymphatic system, and that's where a lot of mucus and stagnation will be created. So yeah, it's a little more about kapha season. But yeah, so declutter and sort. And then really get clear. Get clear on who you want to be, what you want to create, what you're calling in for 2024, and commit to it. So allow those habits to dissolve. And after they dissolve, you're able to see more clear who you truly are, what you really want, what's your purpose, and then commit to it. Commit to it. Bridget says that's why we crave rooted veggies and soups. Yep. In the winter. Yeah, your body knows what it's doing. It's full of innate wisdom. We just have to, this is a time to really get still and quiet and listen to the wisdom of the body in the winter. This is the perfect time to be creating a relationship with your body in the winter. So really leaning into the self-care practices. We have to listen. Yeah. Yes, Peggy. So much veggie rooted soup. Yes. All the vegetables. All right, so I will not keep you here any longer. That is my presentation. That is what I have to offer for you tonight. If you would like to utilize your discount on the Ayurvedic assessment, reach out, schedule one, and I'd love to help you. But you guys have a happy winter. Enjoy the stillness. Enjoy learning who you are. And then in the springtime and the summertime, you get to play with what you've learned. See you guys. Bye.